Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
come at leisure. So welcome to your June committee, and can I please ask members to be mindful that microphones, when switched on, thank you very much. Members, welcome to your June committee. Can I thank the outgoing chair and vice chair for a great year that they had last year, and to welcome you all back. We have two members online, Councillor Alexander and Councillor McConville Walker. I don't have any apologies, but do you guys know of any apologies? No? Okay, move on to agenda item 2, declarations of interest. If you can make them now or as we come along or across them, you can declare them as you want. And then, members, we're going to go to agenda item 5, and we're going to welcome Lisa McKernan, Caroline Caesar and Jennifer Fearon, who are with the Community Advice, Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon. You're very much welcome. Thank you for coming. I believe, Lisa, you've drawn the short straw and you're going first, is that correct? No problem. Over to yourself, Lisa.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa McKernan, and I'm the Senior Advisor of Community Advice ABC, the Armagh branch, and I'm here to speak about our service. So we deliver free, independent, confidential and impartial advice throughout the Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon council area, and we receive funding from the Department for Communities, the Health and Social Care Trust, the Macmillan Cancer Support, and we also appreciate the continued funding that we receive from the ABC Council. We are a charity and we're also a member of Advice NI. We've been operating across the ABC Council area for more than 50 years, and you may know us as formerly Citizens Advice, and we became an amalgamated single service in December 2024. We work out of our main offices in the Armagh, Banbridge, Lurgan and Portadown areas, and we have a range of outreach venues as well. The main issues that we deal with are education, pensions, family issues, health, housing, immigration, tax, crisis referrals, welfare benefits, consumer, employment and debt, but there are many other things that we deal with as well, and we encourage people within the public to contact us about any issues that they may have, as if we can't deal with it ourselves, we can always find an organisation that we can signpost you to. So we have a couple of projects running at the minute. So we have a specialised debt project, which gives advice and assistance on debts and potential remedies. We have a Macmillan Benefits project, which also offers advice and assistance for people experiencing cancer, as well as their family members. We have both a regional helpline and a hospital-based service. We have the Southern Health Project as well, which is advice and assistance for hospital inpatients with mental ill health at Craigavon Area Hospital, and we have a weekly in-reach clinic at the Bluestone unit, plus other outreach services across the area as well. And we also have a pension guidance service, so we make referrals via the Old Citizens Advice PensionWise project. So within our offices, we do form filling for people for benefits. We deal with complaints, give advice on a litany of areas. We help to challenge decisions. We give specialist debt advice, and we also take people through monetary reconsiderations and the appeal process, providing tribunal representation. So there's a number of ways to contact us. We have an advice line, so you can ring up and you can speak to a receptionist to book an appointment, or else number 2 is advice line. We have a website, and there is a secure online portal for self-referrals and third-party referrals. We have an email address, which is listed on the screen at the minute, or people can call into our main offices in Lurgan, Portadown, Armagh, Banbridge, or to any of our outreach services. I'm now going to pass over to my colleague, Caroline, for the remainder of the presentation.
Thank you, Lisa. So, what are locations and how to access our services? Well, we've newly invested in a dynamic QR code, which you can see on the screen, and you can actually access that at anywhere and any point to go directly to our website. So you can also contact us, as Lisa had said, on our telephone number. It's now one central telephone number for the whole of the ABC Council area. Or again, if you want to visit the website, you can do. There's a contact page where you can get in touch for yourself, as well as any referral organisation that you may be attending. If they're one of our partners, please do get in touch. We are there to help and support you. 4 main offices. In Lurgan, we are directly next to the Town Hall in the Little Annex building. In Armagh, we are in the location next to Sainsbury's in Macrum's Court. In Portadown, we are in the health centre. Just inside, there's a turning revolving door, and we're just inside on the right-hand side. And in Banbridge, if you know the cut-through road, we're actually right inside there in the Old Town Hall. So I'd like to just talk to you about our integrated advice partnership. We've actually work with partner organisations to make sure people get the support that they need when and where they need it. We've developed an integrated advice model that operates in community outreach locations. Each week, our team provides on-site advice in places like social supermarkets, women's aid, one-stop shops, libraries, community centres, and also the Craigavon Area Hospital Bluestone Unit. This approach is vital. For vulnerable individuals, asking for help is already a really big step. Asking to get them to travel somewhere else, it can often be too much. So by offering advice in familiar local spaces, we reduce stress, build trust, and remove barriers to support. When we're on site, we can carry out income maximisation checks, identify any debt issues, and ensure the advice we provide is tailored to each individual's specific needs. Our service is free, independent, and impartial. We're not influenced by outside interests, and every person receives advice tailored to their own circumstances. We're also currently conducting research on the barriers mental ill health service users have in accessing debt advice within the ABC Council area, helping us better understand the needs of our community and shape our support accordingly. This is supported by the mental health champion Siobhan O'Neill for Northern Ireland. We are therefore thankful to the support of the Department of Communities and ABC Council, who fund us and help us stay independent and continue this vital work. So, thank you to the support from the team of the Community Development Department here at the ABC Council, Ruth, Nicola, Boyd, and all of their team, for the support that you give to us, because by your support, we are able to integrate this advice within the community. So this leads me on to our outreach projects, where you can see are delivered across the whole of the ABC Council area, ensuring that it is accessible for all. We have advice hubs in Dromore, which is by appointment, and on via Wings on a Monday, where people can drop into service. We're in Market Hill, we're in Banbridge, we're in the Salvation Army on a Tuesday and a Thursday at their food hubs. We're also in the Pantry in Lurgan, at Stepping Stones Food Bank in Armagh, Women's Aid in Portadown on the second and last Wednesdays of the month. We have a day in Rathryland, a day in Keady. The Bluestone Unit is on a Friday, and we also attend the ABC Council Community Hubs. So this is the impact that we have had on the community within the ABC Council area. In 2020-24, we received a total of 20,112 calls. 85% of those calls were answered on the first attempt, which was 17,169 calls. Our generalist service in 2024-25 handled over 33,000 issues. We maximised income across the ABC area by 3.8 million. The Macmillan Welfare Benefits team gave an additional income of £976,835 worth of money to vulnerable families. Our specialist debt team managed £2.4 million worth of debt within the ABC area. Appeals and representation, as we heard about earlier, we represented 149 people at hearing and generated from those appeal cases £651,000 worth. These numbers reflect part of the support we provide to individuals and families in our community, but we can make a real difference and changes in their financial circumstances and help make a difference to people that live amongst us in our community. This bit is just about feedback and testimonials of people that have received advice from us. 93% of clients were satisfied with the service they received. 93% would recommend the service. 78% felt that the support generated gave them a positive outcome. Some of our partnership providers were delighted with the feedback we've had from them. From Freedom Foods Pantry, they have told us having a community advice on site removes barriers, builds trust and ensures timely support. Armagh Food Bank said that having an advisor with the team has taken their sessions to a new level. Via Wings in Dromore, the advisor has proved invaluable. This has been extremely successful. Salvation Army, who we attend on a Tuesday and Thursday, Community Advice ABC, attending drop-ins is vital for our anxious and vulnerable service users. The next section I would like to talk to you about is feedback directly from the community within the ABC Council area. I've read your response. It's very powerful stuff. I'm very impressed with the way you responded. I'm grateful for the way you are handling things for me. Whatever happens, you have gone above and beyond. That is fantastic feedback for us as an organisation. Somebody else had said, thank you for all the help. I don't think I have ended up in a good place without it. Just know it's appreciated. Ultimately, we know from the feedback we receive that what we are doing is making a difference to our community, and that is the thanks to the support of our funding by the ABC Council. I'd like to say just how somebody wrote, top-notch advice. I'd rate you 100%. It says it all. So, what we ask of you is, can you get involved and can you spread the word of Community Advice ABC? You can help others by sharing our resources and the advice offered by us with colleagues, friends and family. Encourage those in need to reach out for free, independent advice. Because if you need advice or support, please contact us. You can ring us, you can email us. We have one central number, 0330 135 9733. Or please scan our QR code. We look forward to helping you in this chamber as well as the whole of the ABC community. So please share the word. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa and Caroline. Very well spoken. I think from my own perspective, to say a big massive thank you to CAB, to Citizen, our community advice, for all the work that you're doing and to all your advisors as well. Okay, members, I have a number of speakers. I'm going to bring in Councillor Peter Hare.
I've had that mistake, sorry. No, I'm okay. That's not had that mistake, sorry.
Did you hit it by mistake?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't hit anything. I didn't hit anything either, Chair. I didn't hit anything.
Okay. I know it's my first night back up here with this new system, Okay. Councillor McElrath, did you hit your button? Yes. Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair, and all the best in your year, and the Chair, and to your Deputy as well. I think the other one saw my light on and must have turned theirs off. Listen, and mine's a very simple one, Chair. I'm a trustee of one of the buildings used by the Community Advice ABC in Market Hill, so we just want to declare that as a matter of interest, but also to wish Caroline and the team all the very best. You do a fantastic job, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And Alderman Mark Baxter, please.
No, I didn't have anything, Chair. Maybe I just wanted to get into the action, but no.
Councillor Alderman Tilsey, did you hit your Okay. Go ahead, Alderman.
Because, Chair, when I had seen so many lights on, I didn't put my own light on because I knew we were all going to say the same thing, and we probably did. We all probably do mean the same thing, and that is to thank you for the job that you do. It goes above and beyond. I know that all the staff do go above and beyond to help those that are in need, and it's very much appreciated throughout. And you do. You're covering such a vast area. And I know of individuals that have availed of your advice and support, and I genuinely thank you for that and for your presentation tonight. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Alderman Tilsley. And Councillor Hockey, you coming in?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just on the same vein, just like to thank you both for coming in, and great to see you, Lisa. She's an old school friend of mine, so I was like when I came in. But great to see you, and it's a service that I probably haven't used before, but will certainly be directing people towards it in the future, and probably using it myself with my constituency work on it. But thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much, Councillor. No more lights on, or no more focus lights? Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate you taking your time to come here this evening and safe home, and hopefully I'll be in touch with you. I'll pick your details up off. Okay, thank you. Okay, members, we're going to move on to agenda item 3, or back to agenda item 3, and I'm going to bring in Paul Tomati, who's the Director of Development, Community and Wellbeing, to give an information item on our business plans for 2024-25. Paul.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. You'll recall at last month's Community Wellbeing Committee, the business plans for 2025-26 were agreed, essentially looking forward. This month's business plan report is the end of year progress report for 2024-25, essentially looking back on the past 12 months' performance of the Community Wellbeing Directorate up until the 31st of March. The report and its appendices details the performance measures of both community development and along with health and recreation, and officers are here tonight to answer any queries members may have in relation to this report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Paul. Councillor Nelson, you looking in? Okay, bringing you in now.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Paul, and to the officers for preparing the report. I suppose what jumped out for me was the reds, which seemed to all be linked to staff absenteeism, and it's something we raised at full council last week. For me, it's that concern as the employer. Why do we have so many staff sick? Is there pressure? Is there work-related stress that we need to discuss, talk out and support and help people back in? Are we paying our workers enough? Are we treating them well? So there's a range of questions, and I know that might come in Charlene's report, but I would be really interested to drill down into the why. Why are so many staff, without having to give away any sensitive information, but if it's work-related stress, how we can support those staff back. So just if that report is coming from Charlene, if that could be fed in. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Paul to give an update on that.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Nason. And there's a range of different reasons and rationales that an employee may be off sick, whether that's through potentially work-related stress, non-work-related stress. There are a range of areas where, we have internal grievances, we have a number of things that we work through, but we also have some people that, are genuinely on ill health, long-term sick, and those sorts of things as well. However, I probably will actually bring both Ruth and Paul Coleman in for each of their individual departments to give you a bit more of a detailed summary of those individual departments, if that's okay, Chair.
Going to bring in Ruth first. Go ahead, Ruth.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Nelson, the comments are noted, and it is something that we're very mindful of. I wanted to share some positive stats that won't come through from that. One is, over the last 4 to 6 weeks, we have welcomed back 8 staff members who had been off on long-term sick, and that has been brilliant, and some of them have overcome huge obstacles to come back into the office and have been very ably supported by the management team. Other thing that I would say is that there has been a shift in pattern. So this has been something that has been supported very proactively across the year. We had work-related stress as a significant issue in the first 3 quarters. That has now disappeared off the top 3 issues. And non-work-related stress issues are significant. We are still looking at how we support that staff through those. But there are other significant health issues that staff are struggling with. But I think that's a positive shift. And I know staff and the managers have been working steadily alongside their staff to understand and address the issues, and that has been really positive to see the change happening. Almost 70% of our staff have no sickness absence whatsoever. When it comes to the stats in relation to short-term sickness, that's only 3 days of the number of days sickness absence on average across the staff members. So short-term sickness is not a significant issue. We do, however, have a significant issue with long-term sickness, and we're continuing to proactively manage that and look and understand the issues while supporting the staff who are unwell and enabling them to come back to work. So I hope that kind of nuances the figures a little bit, but it's something that's very much on our radar.
Thank you for that update. And I'm going to bring in Paul Coleman, who's to my left.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, members. Yes, similar vein of what Ruth has just said in relation to leisure and absenteeism. We've done a significant amount of work, and we've kind of gone on a journey in the last 12 months. The head of department is very keen. It's a very live topic for us, so I have a lot of stats in relation to where we are with this. In terms of your work-related stress, we only have 1 person currently off. We only have 12 people off in leisure altogether. This time last year, we were probably triple that. So there's been a significant shift in where we've gone, and there's been a bit of work in terms of everything you're saying, looking after staff, trying to understand the reasons why people were going off. The bulk is musculoskeletal reasons why people are off now at the minute. So we are doing a significant piece of work in relation to managing the absenteeism, and the positive thing for us is going down significantly. But I'm happy to go into any detail individually with members if they wish.
Thank you very much, Paul. You looking to come back in, Councillor? Go ahead, Councillor Nelson.
Just briefly, obviously when we do read these business plans, we do look at the red far more than we look at the greens, and that's not obvious, so it would be helpful if there's a red, if we can get a wee bit of context and background, because you're thinking there's something going on that we need to fix, but obviously you're aware and are fixing it. So it's just maybe adding that wee bit of detail and context would help members, because we do read these reports, so it's important.
Thank you, Councillor. And Councillor McElrath, going to bring you in now.
Thank you, Chair. I think Councillor Nelson's been reading my notes. She asked exactly the same questions. The red jumps out at us, I suppose, and it has been answered. Q4 looks better, guys, and that seems to be the positive, albeit there seems to be a lot of days still being lost. But the point is relevant and very relevant. I think, and Alderman Tinsley's raised it many times, is it would be really useful for us to know if there's a lot of long-term sick in there, because that changes the dynamic and changes the days. So that's, I think all of the lights on here probably will relate to the same thing, and it is positive to hear that we're moving in the right direction. Hopefully that keeps going. I suppose, Chair, just we'll go from the negative maybe to the more positive. And in the report, I think it's only right and proper that we do pay tribute to the FAP team in terms of the amount of money that's went out the door. Over £1 million last year, over 10 million in the time that this council has been in being. So I think that's a real positive story that hasn't really been told by this council, and something that we should look to maybe mark. And I know we heard it mentioned at the working group, and I suppose when you start to hear those figures, a lot of us here are involved. We're community groups, grassroots, you're working in your community, and without the grants through FAP, a lot of our groups would fold. So, you know, I think it's just to put it on record, Chair, the work that the FAP team do, and I know that there are many, I suppose, recommendations that we were looking at in the working group that could streamline this even better and make it work. But I mean, it's a fantastic amount of money, and I think we should have some sort of an event perhaps to recognise that with our community groups after 10 years. I think it's a massive achievement, and I'm not sure that there are many councils doing what we are doing in terms of supporting our grassroots community through our community groups. So it's just to put that point on record, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor McElrath. Yes, duly noted, and it's absolutely fantastic to see the amount of money that's actually being supported to our local communities. Alderman Tinsley, please.
Yep, thank you, Chair. I raised this at length the other evening at the Environmental Services Committee as to how we're presenting our figures, and as Councillor McElrath has alluded to, I've asked for this for years. It's how we're presenting the figures, and I think it's totally unfair. You've touched on it, Ruth and Paul, and Paul Coleman as well. It's totally unfair to the workforce that has never had a day off in maybe years, and all they hear is the negativity of the councillors coming down and saying about our absenteeism because it's unread and it's not satisfactory. And there's nothing as demoralises a workforce as when they hear that and they've never had a day off. I have asked for years for the long-term and the short-term absence figures to be segregated. Okay, keep them together, but then do a subdivision to that and show those individuals who are off ill in the departments over whatever the long-term sickness period is. If that's 8 weeks, I'm not sure what even that period is. I asked Jonathan the other night, and he's to come back and confirm that to me. And show those figures, because there's nothing as demoralising as those that are just non-attendance at work. And we do know the difference there. And I think that would actually show and help then monitor and show the likes of us councillors who are looking to see what is going on in the different departments. And I think it would also be useful whenever you have quite a huge area that you see what department is it that's causing this red and should be, and every other department perhaps should be green. And my understanding is as well that these figures is only for full-time staff. Why is part-time staff not included in this? Maybe I'm wrong, but if that could actually be clarified as well, because I would think that should also be included in the absence figures as well. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to bring this to full council and ask at full council for, but maybe someone will raise this at governance committee for to ask with regards to HR. But certainly I want to see this happening. I've asked for it for numerous times and it has never happened, but I think it would be useful. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Alderman. I'm going to bring in Paul Tomati here to confirm a few details for you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Alderman Tinsley, for your comments. My understanding is that the Performance and Audit Committee next week, there'll be further detail that specifically breaks that down around that, and I suppose take the note of what you've said tonight and bring that forward so that can hopefully be tabled then as well.
Thank you very much, Alderman Tinsley, and Alderman Baxter, and then Councillor Radcliffe.
Thank you, Chair, and Councillor McElrath probably stole my thunder a bit in terms of the FAP team and what they do for this organisation. I remember, I'll not labour the point, just to thank the staff for everything that they do. We administer over £1 million, just over £1 million there every year, and that's no mean feat, I can tell you. And I'm involved quite heavily with community groups and stuff, as Councillor McElrath is as well. and we know the burden that is, and we know some of the phone calls that the staff and all can take sometimes from irate volunteers who can't understand maybe sometimes that they've filled something in wrong, and I've been guilty of it myself, and it's an easy thing to do, but the staff are fantastic and they're under serious pressure, particularly whenever notices of motion come every once in a while, and all of a sudden you have another 60 or 70 grants to administer that you hadn't factored in as well. So just to pay tribute to the staff for that. I remember sitting in the original FAP working group, and from memory it was me and Councillor Carol Black, and we were deciding what sort of a budget to put on it, and it was me that actually said, well, what about £500,000 a year, given we joined the three together, and sort of came down a bit, and Carol Black, quite rightly, when I raised my eyebrow, Carol Black quite rightly said, no, it's £1 million, go for £1 million. And everybody sort of looked shocked. And you know what, only for Carol Black, it might only be £500,000, so you can thank her historically 13 years ago for doing that. But it's such a fantastic thing that we do. You know, I will be critical whenever I talk about how complicated it can be at times. When you have it all set up, it's maybe not too bad. But to have that avenue for groups across this borough, there's nobody else that does it. And I dare say there's probably not another council in Northern Ireland that hands out £1 million a year in such a way to groups in that format. And as Councillor McElrath said, some groups just wouldn't survive if they didn't have that facility. So, look, just to pay tribute to the staff for doing it. And another thing there, just a bit more positive again, in terms of the health and recreational business plan. In 2024-25, those figures have amazed me. There are nearly 2 million visitors to our indoor facilities, up from 1.3 million. Now, that's down to, and I know when we go into, I know indoor leisure is different from outdoor leisure and all now, and you know, sometimes we complain about things in the big leisure centre over here because it is such a flagship centre. But if you've 2 million visitors a year and you have 1% complaining, you know, that's a lot of people, but that's also a huge amount of people that aren't complaining. And if the figures are up 700,000 in a year, well, that's all down to the staff and down to the comms team and down to the staff in the centres. So I think we can't overlook that at times, and I think sometimes we're all guilty of, when we come to committee, as people have said, we look at the reds and we look at the negatives and all about the negative stuff. But if you look through these business plans, there's lots of positives too, and there's lots that councillors can be proud of and lots of staff can be proud of, and everybody involved. So sometimes it does, I think it's worth noting that there is positives there too. But it so happens that when you come to committee, it's always the negatives that are pointed out, things we want fixed and complaints and all that you get. But you only ever get complaints. You don't get people, very, very often, you don't get people on praising the staff and praising the team. So it's just on behalf of, I suppose, our party, just to put that across as well, because there's some negativity as well. And that's been well articulated by the members tonight, and I think those things that are needed addressed. But it'd be remiss not to say all the positives that are in this business plan as well. So just to put that on record. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman. I remember that meeting. I think I was the chair back then as well. Just to remember you, or remind everybody that there is a FAP working group after this meeting, in case you've missed the email earlier on as the previous confirmation. That was for an item of information, sorry. I'm going to bring in Councillor Keith Radcliffe.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to take this opportunity to congratulate you as being Chair for the incoming year, and your Deputy there, Gareth, as well. I know the two of you will do a fantastic job. I'd like to pay tribute also to the staff for the FAP programme. As has already been alluded, over £1 million, or £1 million is a fantastic amount of money for all the community groups, and as Alderman Baxter's already said, a lot of them groups maybe wouldn't be going only for that, so a big congratulations to all the staff concerned. Just regarding absenteeism, Ed actually brought that up last week in environmental services, and Alderman Tinsley alluded to it there as well. The two of us spoke on it last week. There's 25 days actually off in environmental services on average, on 23. So I do think we really need more information. I think it needs to be broke down to see exactly what is long term and what is short term. And I think the more information as councillors in this chamber, we really deserve to know that. So I think that really needs to be brought back and brought forward to us as councillors. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor. No more lights on. Okay, members, moving on to agenda item 4. And it's the report from the Head of Health and Recreation. 4.1 to 4.4 are items of information. 4.1 is Craigavon Lakes, South Lakes South Lake Leisure Centre early closure. Do we have any questions on that, members? Happy to note. Okay. 4.2 is the Get Moving ABC Framework Scorecard 2024-25. Any questions or queries? Duly noted. Gillian, you're getting off lightly there. 4.3, Sports Development Report 2025. Duly noted. Happy days, Gillian. Thank you very much. 4.4, Orchard Leisure Centre refurbished works update. No questions or queries? Okay, duly noted. Thank you very much, members, and thank you very much to the officers who were here ready for the questions. Agenda item 6, we have no correspondence. Can I seek a proposer and a seconder to go into committee for consideration of the confidential items proposed by Alderman Baxter and seconded by Alderman Tinsley? Members and online viewers, in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, we are now moving into confidential session of the Council. This means that we will be turning off the public feed of the meeting. This will be returned when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask ICT officers to please turn off the feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of this meeting can proceed? to me that the meeting's good to go. Thank you very much. Can I seek a proposal and seconder to agree the recommendations made in committee? Proposed by Alderman Burns, second by Alderman Tinsley. Okay, moving on to agenda item 8. Any other relevant business? We don't have any other relevant business. And members, just to remind you that there's a FAB working group or workshop after this, in case you forgot. Committee room 1. So get a wee stretch to the legs on the way down. Okay. Thank you very much, members, and thank you for your time this evening, and safe home. All the best.